Everybody see? Cool.
Now we want to start again.
Probably should do that.
All right, guys. All right, we'll call the meeting to order.
It's 8:33.
Karen, you want to just speak off the list of board members present?
Sure. Pete,
Present.
Present.
Eric,
Present.
Ed, Rick,
Present.
Rachel. Present. Let's see, other members of the committee, John and Ron are excused. Staff present, Austin,
Here.
Kevin.
Here,
I don't think Nate.
Kevin Caracoli is joining.
Okay, and council, Kevin Caracoli.
And
Yep.
Ed Gilson is present as well.
Yep, I got you, Ed.
Okay.
And I'm on too. Nate's on.
Oh, hi, Nate. Thank you.
Hi, good morning.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So item 1 is Yellow Michael Treadwell Industrial Park,
Yeah, I'll
amended property.
And I'll lead this one and have Nate kind of step in as needed as he's joining us virtually. So last year we actually, Operation Oswego County had made a deal to sell land to AML Properties, LLC in the industrial park. Because of new DEC regulations, they had to go through a very lengthy process to determine what of that land was buildable that they were purchasing. It was about 5 acres of land, and it had already been approved by the board. At the time, DEC came back and said that approximately 1.25 acres of that land was designated as wetland and could not be buildable. So they have gone and revised their site plan to add another approximately almost an acre, 0.97 acres, and came back to Operation Oswego County and requested that we would sell them additional acreage to be able to do their project. So AML is they are a property, I wouldn't call them a landscaping company because they do quite a bit of property work. They do site work and they do landscaping, they do plowing, they do other sort of property related work. And approximately, I believe they have, between all their people, Nate, don't they have somewhere around, just looking for this here where I have it. I think they have around 50 employees total, which this would become their new headquarters. They bought another building in the park. They bought the old Enders Racing building, and they need some additional land for equipment and vehicles and things like that. So they requested land on the back side of the park, which is directly across from EJUSA's yard. So there's a fenced-in yard on the EJ has. This would be a similar fenced-in yard for their equipment and vehicles. So this has already gone through the real estate committee. Real estate committee approved a recommendation to come to the executive committee to approve the sale. And so we're at this point asking for that to be approved. So Nate, anything else you wanted to add on that related to price or any of the terms?
Just a couple of quick notes. The original deal was for $70,000. We're selling this additional acre for $19,000, which is our current sort of appraised price per acre in the industrial park. So it brings it up to $89,000. Definitely AML could have came back and said, hey, we don't want this wetland piece. They're willing to continue to hang on to the wetland piece. So that helps us as an agency not to own wetlands, quite frankly. So that's another good sign for us. They do have about 50 employees. They're going to be adding more as well. And finally, it actually, this additional acres actually helps them not only square off their property, but squares off our property. So really minimal impact on us in terms of usable land available, and gives us $19,000 more in the bank.
And Nate and I have sort of, we've talked to the real estate committee about this, but, we don't have it showing up here as an aerial. But if you imagine the industrial park, this is pretty much the least attractive, least developable piece of property that we have there. It's on the backside. Yep, and it's not great property, so but it's good for them for what they need to use it for.
I mean, the wetland piece wasn't a surprise to us. We've seen cattails growing out there, so we always determined this would be a tough piece of property to sell. So to have a buyer, that's a good thing for us.
Yeah.
This will have to also be, even if approved today, that the new contract needs to be signed up, purchase contract agreement as well. It does need to go through site plan approval and some subdivision. So there's some work still to be had post today.
Yeah, but if a decision is made today to approve, then they would go, immediate steps would be go to town of Scribble site plan approval process for both subdivision and for site plan approval. Anybody else from the real estate committee wanted to chime in on anything? I know Rick and Pete are both on that and, have seen this project come multiple times and, probably, you guys, I don't know if you had any comments you wanted to add on this.
No, I think I would just say we were, there was discussion at the real estate committee level about this wetland and some concern about the wetland. I think that's now been addressed pretty well. And just echoing on some of the other comments, we're getting market value. We're taking care of really a wetland area that would have been a problem for us in the future anyway. So this is a pretty good resolution.
This is also the piece that's not DEC regulated wetland.
Correct.
Right? It's Army Corps of Engineers, so there's no setbacks related to it.
It took DEC about 5 months to get back and say they weren't going to take jurisdiction, which means that it's wetlands, but it's Army Corps jurisdiction wetlands, which means you could build up to it, but not in it. If it's a DEC jurisdiction wetlands, it puts a 100-foot buffer around that wetland, which that had been the case, it would have made that property almost unusable.
Would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve this.
I'll second.
Any further discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Or abstention? Hearing none. Okay, thank you.
All right.
On to the industrial park.
Yeah, so the airport industrial park in the town of Alney, this is just adjacent to the county airport, the corner of Howard Road and 176. This is actually for the existing business. DNS Landscaping is already operating at this location. They bought land from Operation Oswego County about 2 years ago to expand their operation. I think they bought about 3.5 or 4 acres from us at that time. Since that time, they've been growing significantly. They currently employ about 25 there. They run their trucking division. They run all their services out of that location. And they have come back to us and stated, hey, Kevin, we're just getting into DNS. So I was following along. Cool. So they have requested an additional 30 feet of road frontage, which then runs the whole depth of their property, which is about 770 feet. The need is they need to add some additional circulation on the site to be able to reach some of their buildings in the back because of the way the site's laid out. It's very difficult to do that as it is. So it makes the property that they already own behind more usable and just it solves any sort of circulation issues on that site. What was important, so the Operation Oswego County still owns about 35 or 34 acres of land on that side of the road. This is on the same side as the airport. So we have a piece of property that's narrow at the road and opens up as it gets back towards the airport there. And we wanted to make sure we were not landlocking that property, making it unusable. So currently have about 390 feet of frontage still available there. We wanted to make sure with any sale that we were providing ourselves enough room for another business as well as additional room for access there. So originally the company had asked for 100 feet. We pushed back and said, hey, you don't need 100 feet for what you're proposing to do. And we sort of settled on 30 feet to get them exactly what they need to be able to have that additional circulation. So this would leave us with about 360 feet of still frontage along Howard Road, which is sufficient for an additional business plus an access road in the future. So we feel it doesn't hurt our ability to continue to market and do stuff, but it allows this company the ability to grow. And they shared with us that, that they anticipate adding, another 5 employees in the next year or two there as their business continues to grow. They're going to be going after a lot of business related to Micron and supporting things that are happening in both southern Oswego County, and northern Onondaga County. So they see this as a huge opportunity. But without being able to get a little bit of additional land at this time, they wouldn't be able to continue to grow. So we came to a purchase price per acre of $15,000, which is consistent with where our most recent appraisal on that property is. I think actually our appraisal was a little bit less, so maybe in 14.7 or somewhere range like that. It was a little bit more than that. It's only because it's only 30 foot wide and goes 770 feet deep. It's only about a half an acre, so it's not a very large deal. But they've also agreed to, because with small deals like this, if you're having to take closing costs, surveys, and things like that out of it, at the end of the day, it wouldn't really mean much of anything. So they've agreed to pay any closing costs, any survey costs, any other transaction related expenses, so that at the end of the day, Operation Oswego County will net $7,500 out of that deal. And we still, we help this business continue to grow. Nate, anything you wanted to share?
Nothing to add.
Yep. He'll also, this is another one where he's going to have to go to planning board and get approval for, either some sort of a lot line adjustment or subdivision on that. Town of Alney has been good to work with in the past. They've allowed us to do lot line adjustments versus having to do a whole subdivision approval. But we'll have to see what they want to do in this case. It's a pretty minor adjustment, so they may just do a lot line adjustment, but we'll follow their lead on that.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that.
And perfect. Any further discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstention? Okay, thank you much.
Do we want to jump to number 5?
Yeah, I think we're going to do that just because I know Rick for his sake, so he can jump off as soon as we do this. So very different direction. Semicon West 2026. This is the 3rd year that Oswego County and Operation Oswego County would be attending. Actually, in the room here, Rachel went last year and was a partner with us on that. So we have spoken with New York State EDC, which is the entity that organizes the New York State contingent that goes out there. We're about 70 strong. It's a big group that goes. And Oswego County's been increasing our presence every year. The first year we went, it was myself and Chairman Weatherup. Last year we had a group of 4, myself, Rachel, Mark Lombardo is the county's infrastructure guy, and Jim again. This year it'll be, we're looking to have 5 go. Tim Stahl would join as well. So we have sort of a very well-rounded group. But what I wanted to let you know, so the booth has changed from what they've done the last couple years. It's been upgraded, new modern booth for that. And with that, the cost has gone up a bit. So to sort of, and we're actually looking to improve our space a little bit with this. So in the past, the booth costs were, to be part of that was $10,000, and we split that with National Grid. National Grid paid for 50% of it. Operation Oswego County paid for 25%, and the county paid for 25%. At this time, we're looking at, with the booths that are left, we're looking at a booth that would be $15,000, would improve our presence. We'd be on an outside side of it, so we're going to get more viewing from people going by instead of where we were before. So with that 15,000, it'd be a similar, what we're proposing is a similar split where that would be 50% National Grid at 7,500, 25% to Operation Oswego County at 3,750, and 25% to the county. We still have to get that approved through the county, but it's not a very large increase from 2,500 to 3,750, so I don't anticipate there being an issue. Plus, the county's made this a pretty high priority of between the industrial park expansion and the attraction of the semiconductor supply chain, so I don't see an issue there. So what I'm asking for today is the authorization for Operation Oswego County to commit up to $37.50 towards the sponsorship. Now, I do want to be clear, that's for the sponsorship only. It doesn't cover travel and hotel costs, but it's for our position there in the booth, which includes a video screen, includes a table with stools and some other things. It is a little bit different this year, Rachel, than last year. We're gonna have to what it looks like is it's gonna be a booth where we get both sides of it this time instead of one side. So we're gonna get twice the space versus what we had before. So twice the space at only a 50% increase in costs. So I guess maybe it's good from that perspective, but it is a little different this year. It's going to be a brand new booth. I haven't seen it really before, so we'll get a feel for it. But New York State pays, I believe they pay somewhere. I don't even want to say. I guess we're on screen right now, so I don't know how much they pay for this for their position at SemiCon, but it is a very prominent location at SemiCon. So I'm just, like I said, I'm asking today for the approval for up to $37.50. Something might change and we might get a booth that's a $12,000 booth, but I want to have that flexibility to be able to lock in and hold that. So yeah, I don't know if there's any questions, but we continue to grow our presence and looking forward to a very productive SemiCon West. It's in October. It's October 12th to 15th, or October 12th to 16th, and it's in San Francisco. So those are the other things that are important.
Gonna have a new video.
We're going to have a new video. We've actually already talked to our videographer who did the first one, Dan Frawley, and working with him to, we were originally looking to do an update, but now we're just thinking it's just time to do a whole new video. We'll have him at the groundbreaking event.
Right.
And yeah, we're looking to have him actually do a series of videos, of progress videos leading up to the industrial park opening. So.
Would anybody like to make a motion to approve up to $37.50 for co-sponsorship?
I'll make that motion.
Ed? Okay.
I'll second.
Oh, Rachel beat you to it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Any further discussion or question?
One quick question. Does the increase in price have anything to do with the conference being held in San Francisco as opposed to where it was held in prior years? Is it just?
No, I mean, it was 2 years ago, the cost was $10,000 when it was in San Francisco. Last year,
Okay.
it was $10,000 in Phoenix. I believe it's really due to the redesign of the booth and actually there being less spaces overall and needing so they need to get a little bit more from each person who has those spaces to be able to pay for it.
Got it.
Right, you're in a more.
Okay.
We're in a little bit more prominent location, yeah. So there wasn't like anything that was exactly equivalent to what we had last year. Probably the only thing would have been like a $12,000 booth, but we weren't going to have an outside position. So for a $3,000 increase above that, it gets us an outside position.
Okay.
It actually puts us right next to our peers at Onondaga County as well. We'd be right next to them. And they want to keep they want to keep us sort of regionally clustered. So Center State would be next to us as well on the other side. And so, yeah.
Okay.
It should be good.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Or abstention? Okay, thank you.
Cool. We'll go to website and rebrand. So this is
Thanks, everyone. I'm going to have to hop off, unfortunately.
All right.
Thanks, Rick.
Here, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you. Yep.
So this is not an approval at this point, but just wanted to give you an update. So the staff has worked with the marketing and communication committee. We developed a OOC website and rebrand RFP that went out last week. We've already had communication with 3 interested parties that are interested in submitting a proposal for it. That is due, I believe the due date is August 3rd. And we want to have a pretty quick turnaround so that we can make a recommendation for approval at the August 13th executive committee. So we kind of tried to work everything around it so that we would have be able to make a recommendation at that time. So we're going to be looking to have a couple people from the marketing communication committee sit on sort of a core team like we did for the strategic plan that would then be part of reviewing those RFPs we're also looking to, we also scheduled a block of time for the, so that is on, I believe that's on a Monday, that August 3rd, later that week, I think on the 6th. We would be having setting time to have the top two do interviews with the top two entities. So I think we blocked out from 9 to 12 to be able to do that. So, everything's on schedule as of right now. We directly sent it out to the top 5 economic development marketing firms in the country. We also, Nate had it listed on New York State EDC's, New York State Economic Development Council's website, where a lot of those firms go to look to see what, current RFPs and opportunities are out there. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that, so there we go.
Anybody local?
We didn't send it out to anybody local as of yet. We could. The thing that I want to be careful about with this is a very specific type of website and very specific sort of expertise and knowledge. So we would not prohibit anybody locally from participating in it. But we want to make sure, that this was a very high priority in the strategic plan to, as part of the rebrand, renaming, and websites. We want to make sure we have absolutely the best of the best out there, putting in for it. So, and I think we'll have that. So cost of it yet, I don't know. We purposely did not put that in the RFP because it always seems to magically, when you put in the cost, they always seem to come right at the top of that cost. So we want to see what entities really feel the cost of this is. Yeah. So, and I will say somebody did reach out to us. So what we did, instead of giving them a number, we gave them a very, very broad range and said we would consider ones that are below it or above it, obviously based on the experience and the scope of the proposal. But we wanted to make sure that, because I've seen it before where you give somebody a $60,000 or an $80,000 number, magically they're all around that number, So this at least lets us know what that's going to be. So that's that. And so, within that RFP though, we had, we wanted to have that project start by September 1st with a pretty aggressive turnaround that we want to have this process wrapped up or mostly wrapped up by the end of the year. And so feel pretty confident we can do that. Next thing, well, the last item on here that we've identified is the L. Michael Treadwell Oswego County Industrial Park expansion groundbreaking event. So we have officially scheduled August 6th at 1 p.m. Everyone should have gotten an email on that with an invitation for that event. That's gone out to over 140 partners and entities, stakeholders, and economic development. I don't anticipate we'll have 140 people there, but we'll probably have a pretty sizable crowd. We're currently working on getting a sign put up there with the partners and everything about it. We'll have a tent there the day of, just because you don't know what the weather's going to be like. Not a huge tent. I think it's going to be like a 20 by 30, but big enough for people to get out of the weather if needed. But it'll be a nice event. I imagine we'll have speakers there from the state, from the federal government, locally. The other thing I wanted to state is that while it hasn't been official, because we're still going through just some final due diligence related to, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Nate, just remember we're also on camera. So, but WD Malone was identified as the lowest bidder for the contract, and when we did our opening of our sealed bids, so that is, that is known information, and it looks like that is who we will be working with unless anything, is identified related to the bid that fundamentally changes things. But looking forward to working with a local GC contractor on that project. We'll bring a lot of local subs to the table as well. So everything's coming together. It takes years for these things to happen, but we're finally we're turning the chapter and we're moving into implementation. And also excited to say that it's working with National Grid and their team, and I want to say that new board member Susan Cole has been very integral in getting all of the players at National Grid on board, because when you're dealing with something like that, you're dealing with a legal department, you're dealing with a real estate department, you're dealing with engineering, and you're dealing with their economic development folks, and they don't always talk. So it's good to have somebody there who can kind of get all the parties together and push everybody in the same direction. So I'm also happy to say that they have provided their timeline to us, and that their timeline will be is consistent and will be done at the same time as the rest of the construction project. So that was something that was a big unknown for a while, but they've committed to be able to meet our timeline as well. So we're excited there. So yeah.
Are they planning on bringing in significant power?
So
Sufficient power?
yes. So we have our plan as of right now, is and this is built into our budget, is to bring in a 5 MVA substation, new substation that would serve the expansion. That's not massive power. It's not, it's not the kind of power that's gonna power a chip fab plant, but it's gonna serve the supply chain companies, light industrial companies, no problem.
And this is a question, that's gonna take digging up the roads and.
It's not, no. So that's actually gonna come off of the existing railroad line that runs on the backside of the park. So there's a 34 5 kV line that runs there. They're gonna come right off of it. There's actually already overhead power lines because there was an old house on the same side as the industrial park at one time. So they're gonna use that existing right away, bring in a new larger substation of a 5 MVA, and then they're gonna run underground electric from there in the UCD through the rest of the park. 13.2 kV is going to come on. It's going to step down from 34.5 to 13.2, which is what is in the existing industrial park. So we're not looking to, our target industries are not, we're not looking to bring in chip fab plants and things that need, more than 5 megawatts. But, we're looking at things that are, consistently light industrial assembly, light manufacturing, warehouse and distribution into that park.
But if that's the pathway that that will allow it to expand.
Correct. It's a modular substation, so they could always add to it over time.
Good.
It's just more of an issue of timing. Some of those larger substations, they have lead times of 3 to 5 years right now because of everything going on with the data center boom and everything else. So we're working with what we can get now with the ability to grow later. That took a long time to get to that. But we got there. So that's what I've got. Any questions on either the website rebrand or the expansion, the groundbreaking event? Hopefully everybody can make it. I think it's gonna be a great event. We're working on our speakers right now, but it's been a long time coming and it's exciting times.
And that's 1 p.m.
1 p. I believe it's 1 p.m. I don't have it in front of me to look at, but everyone should have gotten an invitation on that, or at least a thing today. I believe that's what it was.
I have one in my team.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, it's 1 p.m.
Great. Glad I got that right off the top of my head. Anyway.
Okay.
So, nothing else. I guess the only other thing we would say is the next scheduled meeting is August 13th. We should not have a need for any other special meetings. This really came up because of these land deals that we wanted to move along and get those going and started. So other business, I already stated, we are seeking an additional executive committee member. I have a couple feelers out on that, and we'll be able to, I assume at our next meeting on August 13th, our 8th executive committee member will be there for that, or at least will have been named at that time.
And will we have that meeting if there's not business?
There will be business to transact. Yeah, one of the things we need to do for that, and it's a ratification of, is the budget that's submitted to the county on an annual basis. I'm sure Rachel's probably working on hers right now too. They just came in the last week to request for that. It's due in early August, so it's due a little bit after our meeting, but this is something we've annually done where it's approved after the fact by the executive committee. Yeah, due on the 7th. So, but already working on that, but it's not something I had really in time for this meeting. And then the last thing I wanted to do, just sort of under other business, is well, two things I want to state really quick. We are, there will be a notice going out to the board tomorrow that we are going to be holding an OOC board orientation for the new board members on July 29th. Prefer to have it done in person, but somebody could join virtually if they had to. So our staff right now, Amber and Natalie, are working on updating our orientation presentation for that. So that should be done here this week, but that invitation should be going out probably today or tomorrow. And that meeting would be, I think it would be the Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays from tomorrow. Yes, yep, that would be here.
What time?
I don't remember what we set yet. I thought it was 11, but it'll be in the official invitation that goes out. But and it's not just for, one thing I want to say is that, it's set up for the new board members, but I'd encourage any board member who'd want to come and, just learn more about how sausage is made to come to that. I know Pete, you've come to it before and we've had it. And it is pretty, it's good information for people to have, especially, with the strategic plan just being approved and other things. So it's good. So, but that'll go out to all board members. It's really recommended for new board members, but any board members. And then just the last thing I want to say under other business is that Kevin LaMontagne and I have had several meetings with manufacturing companies in Oswego County regarding the state's CFA consolidated funding application that's due July 31st. Had really good productive conversations out of it. Everybody we've talked to has projects going on, but just some of them, the timing of those projects may not line up with the CFA. Either they're moving too fast or they are not fully baked and they won't have the information they need. But it's all good stuff. I mean, these are companies that are all looking at making investments, either investments into equipment, which lead to new jobs, investments in facilities, and other things. So in infrastructure, several of them looking at making investments into electrical infrastructure and other things. So all good stuff, but just wanted to kind of give you a quick update on that as well. We've been meeting with them over the last week. I think we've met with 4, and then we have several more to have meetings with this week. So all good stuff though. I don't have anything else.
Does anybody else have anything to bring up?
I don't have any official business, but I did want to let, particularly Karen and the committee know that I will be, I'm going to be out of the country from July 31st through August 15th. So I know there's a couple of meetings in there that I won't be present for.
I'll miss the executive committee on the 13th. Where are you going, Ed?
Europe. We're doing,
Good for you.
we're doing a Viking, Odyssey Mediterranean cruise for our 52nd wedding anniversary. We started the celebration Sunday on.
Well, congratulations. Good for you. It's deserved.
Thank you.
You'll be missed at the executive committee, but then you will also be like, well, he's probably in Europe right now, so we don't feel that bad for him. All right.
This is a tough one. This is the first 2-week vacation I've done in my 50-year working career. I'm scared to death.
Don't be. Have fun.
I'm sure you'll bring a laptop and you'll be checking emails and doing stuff anyway. I know you had. Any other committee members have anything they want to share? No?
Oh, I'm all set.
Great.
So we just need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We
Second.
need a second?
Yeah.
Second.
9:07.
All right.
I like those 30-minute committee meetings.
Thank you.
All right. That's the shortest committee meeting I think is executive committee I can remember.
Well, that was good.